Hello everybody, it's Odom again. Here I just changed Odom over to a troll, thank God. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. It's one of my favorite races as a troll. Pretty much because there's not that many of them. That way at least I can be more like an individual. Changes they did to the talents. Check out what they got rid of. A little bracket between the crappy talent for PvE soloing and the one that I liked, that procs clear casting. So pretty much I got rid of Tree of Life for that. Proc clear casting all the time, or Omen of Clarity, whatever you want to call it. It absolutely rocks. I love it. Sorry it took so long before making another video. Black Ops came out, and I swore to myself I was not going to make another video for a while until I got to the first prestige with Black Ops. And I got the first prestige a few days ago, but I was trying to come up with something to make a video with. This is basically just a video for Resto Druids on what to do in Cataclysm. First off, in case you haven't already figured it out, get your damn Talbot for the new race, where goblins, whatever, Wogan, whatever your side is, and get that to Exalted. I want to get a trike as soon as it drops. Like, bam, I want a trike. Anyway, in Cataclysm, big thing, okay? With how they have efflorescence proccing off of your Swiftmend, rotation for healing in 5-mans pretty much. If it's a melee heavy DPS group, you want to use that whenever there's going to be area effect DPS or area effect damage right up with the group of mobs that you're fighting. You want to use that just to top off everybody. If it's a group that's more ranged DPS or half and half, then only use that when you absolutely need to. Try to make sure everyone's positioned right for it. The tank, I normally just do rejuve and make sure 2 life blooms are on him, and I use regrowth to if he gets to 50%, that normally shoots him up enough, so then the heal over times take over and get him back up full. That's if it's a ranged heavy group. If it's a melee heavy group, regrowth and rejuve, and then Swiftmend when he gets to 50% will take care of everybody pretty much up there. In Cataclysm, remember, like right here, I'm casting, I'm healing because, you know, they're working on the mobs are right there. There's casters way back there that says attacking you. Yes, use line of sight. Get out of line of sight, get them up to where your tank can get to them. Okay? Be mindful of where you're at. Alright? If you get aggro from the back, do not run away. Do not kite them around in a circle while the rest of the group dies. Run to the tank. You might take a little bit more damage. Run to the frickin' tank. A tank cannot do anything to help you if you're way the fuck away and running the opposite direction. Okay? Like in this position right here. I knew there was casters. I knew I could have gotten aggro, but I didn't. So I got jumped right up there in the efflorescence area effect. So even if I did get aggro, I had the extra healing from that. I could throw a rejuve on myself. I'll be fine. The tank is right next to me. He'll pick it up. Back in EverQuest, we used to do, shamans used to slow the attack speed of mobs so that they wouldn't just 2-shot a tank, because their attack speed would be 1 second, and then you slow it down to 3 seconds, and the healers could actually keep up. Back in raiding in EverQuest, it was the same thing. Your shaman had to be right up there next to the tank when he slowed, because if the shaman got aggro, that way the mob's running to the tank still. It's not running past the tank, it's not running everywhere, it's running to the tank, so the tank could still get aggro. You see, it's the same basic principle. I know that I'm not on my shaman, I'm on my druid, but it's the same basic principle. You have to understand the difference between proximity aggro and actual aggro. If a tank just walks up and then the mobs notice him and say, oh, I'm going to attack you, the first person that casts anything on that tank will get aggro, whether you be thorns, whether it be rejuve, or anything. Unless the tank hits that mob to get aggro, you're going to take his proximity aggro from him. That's just how it is. So, I mean, you can count or hope or pray that that tank is damn good enough to actually save your ass, or you can actually just pay attention and cast thorns before he even gets proximity or aggro, or just wait till he gets up there and you notice an effect. Like, I love warriors because shockwave is an easy freaking, or thunderstomp, those are easy to notice right away, so I know whatever proximity aggro he had, he now has full aggro. So I can cast whatever instant spell I want on him. As long as it ain't a freaking like 20k heal, there's no possible way that I'm going to get aggro. I shouldn't get aggro anyway from just one ability that they cast off him. But that's not the point. You have to understand that difference. There are fights in Cataclysm that are going to be CC based. You're going to have, yes, that means that it's going back to BC days. I'm going to love this expansion on my hunter because I love trapping. I absolutely love trapping. I could chain trap all freaking day. All freaking day. I loved it. Now, in Cataclysm, you remember, you have Cyclone, okay? You can root something, alright? So you even though you're a healer, does not mean, I mean, yes, your main responsibility is to keep everybody alive. But if there's another mob coming from the back that you know you can root it, or you know that you can Cyclone it just to take it out of the equation for a minute, it's not like we're going to jump out of Tree of Life form because we don't have to Cyclone something and we're going to lose a bunch of healing because it's only situational anyway. So just use that, utilize that. Just say, okay, well, there's another mob coming. Oh, Cyclone. Or if it's casting something like a Doom Bolt or something that you know is going to fuck up the tank royally, just freaking Cyclone. Okay, interrupt this cast. Voila. And on boss mobs, Fairy Fire stacks up to 3 times. It gives them a, what is it? It's 4% per application, so 12% less armor. Use that on every boss that you can. You know, the easiest way to do that though is to set up a macro. You set up a macro that goes force says cast target equals focus target. So if you have the tank on your focus so you can use the thorns macro, then all you have to do is hit that, and whatever target he's targeting, which would probably be the boss, will get your Fairy Fire application. So you can constantly monitor the healing while just pressing one button 3 times, and that way you're being more of a druid. You're being a help to the entire group. Okay, that's the biggest point to it. I mean, yes, in raids, let the boomkin worry about it. Let the feral druids worry about it. But if you're the only druid in a 5-man, and that's what a lot of it's going to be, like going up, the first getting to 85 is you're going to be going through 5-mans, and everyone's going to be relearning how to work as a team. Basically, it's not going to be all this spam. Like, look at this. This tank's just running in. The Death Knight DPS is running up there and grabbing more mobs himself. I mean, this process has made people very lazy, and I hate that because in BC we had, and even back when I first started in vanilla, you had a sense of accomplishment. When you beat an instance, you had a sense of accomplishment. It was there. It was like, okay, yeah, we fucked them up. Not only because you had to find the right group of people to go with, be social to them and be nice to them, and you actually got to know people on your server that way. And you also had to fly down to the instance, so you kind of got an idea of how tactful everybody was on time. So, all right, everyone's in the group. Let's go right now. If somebody's messing around with the auction house for another half hour, you know you don't really want them in the group. So anyway, I mean, that's what I miss. I miss that a lot about this game, about games in general, just MMOs, is that you can feel a sense of accomplishment by getting something done. And I hope to God with how the system's going to be, where there'll actually be CC, and you're actually going to have to work your ass off and actually pay attention. You know, I think it'll make me feel a lot better. But either way, those are my tips for Cataclysm. Hope to God you guys take some of them to heart. Experienced druids should already know this. Anybody that's played BC should already know this. Just do everything you possibly can to be the best addition to a group. I mean, there's a lot of people that just go in there and say, oh, I'm on a DPS, and they're not even going to worry about decursing or whatever else. You know, which sucks, because I've been in raids before where there's been druids, a boomkin, that like, back when we could only, we were like the only cure curse in the raid, a 10-man raid, we didn't have any mages, and I went down, Faye went down, and another boomkin was there, and they were like, and it was like 10% until the boss was dead, and the particular boss, heaven help me, I can't remember the name, applied a curse to a bunch of people in the raid, and if it was on them long enough, when he did another effect, they'd instantly die. And the boomkin would just be sitting there, same frickin' spell over and over again, frickin' boom, boom, boom. And we're saying in vent, hello, hurry up. You need to decurse. Oh, I can DPS through it. Oh, whatever. We all end up dying. I mean, yeah, I mean, we were just starting. It was in Nax, but it wasn't the point. Is you have to whatever roles that you can fulfill. That, I mean, you should know your class. Once you get through the instances a couple times and you know what does what damage, you should be able to know how to adjust your play style. You have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, then you're going. If you think you're just going to go into this expansion like you did the last one, and it's going to be the same crap, and you're just going to blow through everything, no, it's not going to work that way. I'm sorry to say, you'll be very disappointed. Anyway, y'all take it easy. This has been Odom. Peace.